What's up, Ninja Nation? It's your boy, Jesse James. Welcome back to the part 3 of 12 Gates of Heaven. Alright. How you doing today, Ninja Nation? Here in Maryland, it's beautiful. It's beautiful weather. Alright, so Jesus just killed death. I think that's where we're at. All right. Also, part of Shinokage Ninja Nation series. Volume 1, Shinokage, Death's Shadow. Volume 2, Manbeardia. Then there's the table of contents. A grand tale of what transpired with Apollo and Yahweh, hell and the armies of man, and the Department of Supernatural Affairs after Satan's exile to Manbeardia, and during Kambe Halamakri's imprisonment. 12 Gates of Heaven by Jesse Henson, a fantasy novel, but it can be real if you imagine it. Imagine you're there. That was the prologue and the table of contents. This is chapter 1. Okay, so there's chapter 1, Return of the Ancient One. Chapter 2, Hell on Earth. Chapter 3, Heaven on Wheels. Chapter 4, The Unholy Animal. Chapter 5, Visitor from Outer Space. Chapter 6, Battle of the Gods of the Battle of the Bands. Right, Chapter 1, Return of the Ancient One. Words of Zeus made Yahweh open his eyes from the moment of daydreaming. Hilge Ande, the Holy Spirit, sat to the left of Yahweh. Jesus Christ, Yahweh's heir and only Son, sat to the right of Yahweh. 3 perfect versions of the great I Am. Heaven held this year's annual Council of the Gods. The council was built in name of galactic peace, but that didn't stop the Olympians from causing a little bit of disorder and teasing. Though they managed to work together, they were still gods. Usually Buddha and Hilge Ande had to discreetly pump calming sweet-scented pheromones and aromas to calm any quick tempers that might disagree. The Egyptian sun god Ra brought a little more bright, positive thinking to the table. The gods that could not physically show would cast a telekinetic mind copy in their place. A large king's feast was held in the throne room. Yahweh, king of the Milky Way sector, smiled as he drifted from the daydream. He listened to the gods bicker of different topics that didn't apply to him, then realized why he dozed off in the first place. This specific meeting had been more of a snooze fest than a cat playing with a string. Zeus waved his hand at Yahweh. Hello, heaven to Yahweh. This is the council. Are you there? What? Yes. Hey, there you are. Welcome back. We need your vote on repair costs to Manbirdia. You made the place. I'm just trying to maintain it. Your boy caused quite an uproar. Why did you send him there? My Viking tribes are quite upset. Apollo asked. Yahweh straightened his posture in his throne chair. Sorry, Apollo. I guess I could have sent him to a frozen moon or something. I didn't even know that place was still inhabitable. I just wanted him out of my hair for a while so I could think. What's the damage? Well, you got a 3-year sabbatical from him at my expense. I would like compensation. It's flourishing, actually, thanks to me, Apollo said with a little annoyance. I meant no offense, Apollo. You can have Manbirdia. I know you take pride in that place. Yahweh stated softly, 1 quintillion. My, he has made a name for himself. Yes, I hate him. Yahweh chuckled. Not many people that meet him tend to stay liking him unless he forces them. I'm sorry, I will pay 500 trillion. As it is not one of my planets, and I care not about it. But Lucifer is, unfortunately, a troubled child, and even more unfortunately, I am responsible for him. That's half. I'll accept that. Must be nice to create entire civilizations and forget about them like yesterday's favorite toy. Zeus stabbed. Mind your tongue, Zeus. We are guests in his home. We are gods. Class and manners should have come when you were 1,000 years old. Buddha spoke sharply. Buddha, you give the Olympians too much credit, my old friend. Only thing they care about at 1,000 was drinking, banging, wild parties, and releasing the Kraken on entire towns, only to pretend to be the hero and save them, let alone manners and class of a god. This allotted a simultaneous heavy huff of disrespect from all present Olympians and soft chuckles from the non-Greek gods. Ares, god of war, shifted uncomfortably in his seat. That jab was uncalled for, Yahweh. Yahweh raised his goblet to his lightning face, the mug jiggling from his laughter. I only tease. Olympians, don't get your panties in a bunch. Save your panty bunching for your orgy parties. He took a big swig of fresh pressed peach flavored wine, peering at the other gods over the brim of his jiggling goblet. Allergies are just trying to kick my butt today. The Olympians' anger eased as they breathed in lavender-flavored air. Hilge Ande smiled, shaking his head. Remember, my lord, we want a productive meeting today. Hilge Ande was the wise man of heaven. I thought it was funny, Father. Jesus Christ smiled. Hilge Ande reminded both of them. Now, gentlemen, remember why we created the Council of the Gods. Surely not to poke fun at the other gods, but to have galactic peace. So we can focus on running the Milky Way sector. Always the voice of reason. Helge Ande was always the voice of reason. Okay, I'll behave myself. To business then. Shall we? What are the matters on the table today? Yahweh asked as he assumed a more professional stature in his chair. That'd be a first, Zeus snarked. Not giving fuel to Zeus's ever-going mind games, the comment was ignored. There's a famine in one of my moon planets in District 2, so food for that planet is scarce, but I don't have the resources to supply them. I need a vote for supplement or desolation of moon planet Zargot. Egyptian sun god Ra spoke. A half a dozen gods put in requests for soldiers to dial back insurgency, food requests, and strange suggestions to help create a new world and what should its inhabitants look like. The newer gods asked advice for best practices to help God better. They either just inherited a kingdom or the previous gods stepped down from their duties. The new gods made it known to the council that it was a little scary handling one planet, let alone an entire solar system. Yahweh warned to be conscious of every decision, because every decision has the potential to lean one's alignment one way or the other. If it leaned too far to the right, where their alignment swayed too close to the evil side, they would be exiled and cut off from the help of the council. To make every decision well informed and strongly researched, vastly knowing the pros and cons. He also let them know that to do this in wisdom, if they were okay and could sleep at night with the cons, then continue. He mainly leaned on the alignment issue, as some new gods in the past got far too power tripping and began to become an evil alignment. Argue and bring massive headaches to the council, to the point where they were kicked from the council and became an enemy to all the decent, lawfully chaotic gods, which was stupid because this many powerful gods in one room, they only had to issue one command, and and their planet system would be invaded by and conquered. Would be invaded and conquered. There you go. That's it. Yahweh, being the strongest out of all of them, would simply just have to sneeze over their planet. They would instantly go to murderous overlords to cosmic dust. Wasn't wise to piss off this many gods. But despite many chances to reform, the evil gods chose the unintelligent path, and now half of them, under rule of more powerful, less caring gods, or the entirety of them, the entirety just blown out of existence. Yahweh had the Milky Way sector. Conquest was unneeded for him. He let the other gods have that fancy. But try and mess with one of his planets, all levels of and wrath would be unleashed, making hell look like a Six Flags theme park. The outer gods of the council called each god's area of reign either districts or sectors. Being this year's host, Yahweh jotted down the requests on stone tablets. The council was provided pen and paper. Everybody had to vote yea or nay on each of the requests. There was no need for a royal scribe. Yahweh magically enchanted the paper to remember and write down each request in form of a voter's ballot. Though tiresome and very political, not nearly as fun as war, nobody challenged the system. Above all, it worked. It'd be a lie if I told you every meeting was meaningful. But they tried to make the most out of each meeting. Most time, engagement of other sector gods wherever the yearly meeting was held ended up pushing towards peace treaties and different levels of alliances. So everybody didn't mind participating. Zeus jabbed a finger to the young man sitting next to him. My son Apollo's birthday is coming up. I wanted to gift him a planet. I would be willing to barter and trade. Could I have any takers? Don't you already own like 12 sectors? That's more than all of us. I declined to help with this request. Ra said as he marked down no. A denial in the same breath as the request made Zeus grit his teeth a bit. Yahweh, would you be willing to barter? No. Come on, man. Everyone knows you make the best worlds. Let me get Pluto. You don't even use Pluto. No! Your influence was already once in my sector. I won't have it again. Barter with someone else. Zeus produced a low growl under his breath. Damn, man. 2 denials in less than 1 minute? Earth, at least? Your boy can have Manbeardia. I already stated that. Did I not provide funding for repair to that place? Zeus fired back. That's not even a planet, and you know it. It's some weird science experiment that doesn't even have the flow of time. The boy needs a proper planet. Suddenly, the throne room doors exploded open. Archangel Michael immediately went down to his knees. I am sorry for the intrusion, my lords. and ladies. I was unaware the council was still in session. My king, I have urgent news. What is the meaning of this outburst? Ra demanded. Of course you would not have the knowledge of the time of the meeting. You are not a god, and therefore you were not invited, manservant, a female goddess said angrily. My place is well known to me, ma'am. Thank you. No disrespect. Michael returned as formal and professional as possible. Zeus, already irritated, had to put a snark in. What kind of kingdom do you run here, Yahweh? To where your manservants can just burst in whenever they choose. Speak when they choose to and raise their tongues against your guests. Bickering broke out. Lightning and thunder shot into the sky. Silence! Not another word. Enough, all of you. My kingdom and its style of reign are of no concern to you, Olympian. Remember whose roof you sit under, whose food you eat, whose drink and alcohol you consume. Michael is a war general of the greatest army in the galaxy. Unless you need a second reminder of that, lightning god. Know your place, lowercase g. You throw lightning, I make it. We are not the same. All the bickering quieted down. Zeus became quiet and looked sheepishly at the ground. No, that's fine. One is enough. Everyone was well aware of Yahweh's legendary rage and the sheer raw might of heaven's holy army of the Milky Way sector. Tales were written in every god's archive. One stood out. A board member recently cut off for going dark took an intentional direct stab at Yahweh and his kingdom, put his earth in an ice age just after the dinosaur age. As an act of war, the tales of the ex-council member ice goddess Aquafina and her ice people were almost as legendary as the defeat of Zeus's empire in the Milky Way. Only difference, Zeus still breathes. Due to a forced ultimatum given. Either die or move to another sector. Zeus and all the Olympians chose to move out of the Milky Way sector to the 12 sectors they abode in now. Less commonly known was the utter desolation and focused malice annihilation of Sector 125, Aquafina's sector. After the war, tales say that if you traveled too close to that sector, or brave enough to venture through the graveyard, that it was vastly haunted. Nobody sensible dared to build in that sector, not even trade routes through that. It was considered taboo. The pure amount of carnage and death those planets in that sector encountered was anything but godly. On quiet nights, final screams of the damned could still be heard. Amongst the miles of planetary graveyard debris, so perfectly destroyed by the wake of Yahweh that pieces of dead planets still had frozen trees and gray mountains still attached to its landscape, as if it was unaware that thought that though everything around it was lifeless, to it still tried to painting worthy. What? It still tried to be look like it was worthy. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. The war zone, now one of the largest space graveyards in history, was a very loud and very clear message to future attackers or gods that wanted to try their luck against Yahweh, the great I am. It was a sit down, shut up, and do as you're told galactic statement. Even a god could get past the carnage and the haunted part, but nobody wanted Sector 125 for the simple fact of the hundreds of years it would take for the god to clear out the debris, to make it safe to build, then still needing the time to create or import life and turn the graveyard into a sustainable environment. It just was too big of an undertaking. Clean, preferably not haunted stretches of space was greatly preferred building grounds over Aquafina's Sector 125. Not to mention, space ghosts were just a headache nobody enjoyed dealing with. Extra permits, higher wages were demanded, plus, regardless of race they used to be, space ghosts just enjoyed chaos too much. Always stealing the workers' tools, sabotaging their equipment. It was a whole OSHA mess. No one had patience or time to dedicate to such a project. My son, is it a private matter or can the topic be spoken of publicly? Privately is preferred, Father, Michael claimed as his head still bowed. Yahweh looked at Hilgayande and Jesus Christ nodded. Very, very well. Let us speak then. Give me a moment. Yes, sir. He nodded and left the room to wait outside. No, Zeus. I decline to help you with this request. None of my planets are for sale. You owe me for dumping your problem child on me for 3 years. Apollo, be silent. Zeus barked at his son. Swift gib slap went across the back of the child's head. I will not have my flesh and blood embarrass me. Do not speak again, boy. That matter was already resolved. Apologies for my youngling. I may be able to barter with you. Might have something for you as a birthday gift. Buddha spoke to Zeus. Zeus' head bowed. Thank you, Buddha. Apollo growled but dared not speak. Yahweh owed him and only paid half of his debt. Damn, if he wasn't going to collect one way or another. It took a lot to rebuild Manbeardia and make amends with the Vikings and the water spirit. The trees and landscape alone cost him 7 trillion gold pieces. Not even speaking on the price he paid to keep peace among the Viking tribes. If he found it in his heart to forgive the debt but he did not. But the meeting is not adjourned. You can't just stand up and leave, another god said concerningly. Yahweh stood 17 stories tall to stretch. My good gods and goddesses, my counterpart here, Hilge Ande, has just as much to say and authority. I leave you in my wise man's more than capable hands. Thank you for coming. Please feel free to take home as much food and bottles as you can carry. Thank you for allowing me to host this year's Council of the Gods. I kindly bid you all adieu. With that said, Yahweh tucked the middle chair in and left the room. Yahweh carefully shut the throne room double doors. Yahweh's eyes fell on Michael's gaze as he fidgetedly sat on the bench. What is the pressing matter? What is this pressing matter, Michael? Well, for one, my king, I am sorry for interrupting your meeting. It's fine, Michael. What's the emergency, my son? Hey, we're starting to get a little dark in here. My lord, our spies on the street claim sightings of unusually highly happy demons dancing in the street, singing, praising that Satan has returned from Manbirdia. They whispered of a new world domination plan. They made no effort to be quiet or stealthy about it, in their joy of him being back. Yahweh sighed. Well, at least he was out of our hair for 3.5 years. Wish it was longer, but I'll take it. He's a persistent one, that one. That's for sure. Thank you. I will go and attend to this matter personally. Sir! Michael bowed and left him shortly after, white smoke covered the room and Yahweh was gone. Down in Hell's Inferno, Cerebros began barking viciously, pulling at the chains that held him. 2 angels lay dead upon Hell's floor. Lightning and white smoke struck the ground. There was a few demons mopping the floor. At his presence, they dropped their tasks and cowered at the sight of the greatest I am. A man sashed in white, purple armor stepped out of the smoke and lightning. God closed his eyes and ran a scan of life presences of the entire hell population. Where are you? Yahweh bellowed thunderously across all hell. Cerebros broke the chain and sprinted towards Yahweh in an attack lunge. At an attempt at Yahweh's throat. The God King flicked his royal robes back and slammed a powerful back kick into the dog's middle head. The dog yelped and cartwheeled backwards into a few spikes of Hell's Gate. The three-headed mutt went limp. The godman held his back kick pose. I am not in the mood for you, Hell Mutt. The leg of the godman was expertly swung back to walking stance. He took 2 steps to the Hell Castle and puffed inside. A janitor was mopping a blood trail up off of the polished bone floor. Suddenly the mop dropped, and the demon was slammed against the wall. It immediately started crying. Oh God, I can't breathe. Where is he? It squirmed. You're a demon of hell. Oxygen is not a requirement for your existence. The air is poisonous. God let out a menacing growl as he brought his face closer to the demon. Do not make me repeat myself. Okay. I'll tell you. Please put me down, Great One. God put the demon down. I have spared your life. Now talk. Master is in the upper castle area talking to the other dark angels. Do you know what his angle is? Did he tell you? Sir, I'm just a janitor, but I did hear him talk to his generals. Master said he was going to work with... He looked down and a sword stuck through the demon's chest. Satan appeared behind him. Sleep and never wake up. We don't want to spoil the fun now, do we? Before it happens. Come on, man. Archers appeared with drawn arrows dipped in the pit of fire, raised to Satan's kill points. Satan licked the demon's face and creeped closer. The biggest thing I've missed was the environment of hell. And the oh so sweet superiority I held here. Did you enjoy your vacation? I hear you had a splendid time in Manbirdia. You know, most people take a few days to unpack, wind back up, before they get back at scheming world domination playlist. Satan gritted his teeth at the comment as he slowly raised his head. Hello, Father. Isn't death just lovely? He looked battered at best, trying oh so hard to look like he never lost his mojo. But he was far more docile than normal. Manbirdia and Apollo must have put the hurting on him and threw him through the ringer, 'cause he looked terrible. Well, more so than normally. When did you get back? Was vacation enjoyable? Did you make any new friends? Was killing the guard watch really needed? Oh, your birds? As much as I would have loved to take credit for that win, no. Your god veil teleported me here, then exploded. Father Time is your father? Who told you such news? Apollo. Yahweh scoffed. Damn Greeks, always sticking their stupid nose where it doesn't belong. Yes, Father Time is my father. Huh. Yeah, so for your information, I think I hate him more than you for making that stupid god veil. Live weapons are such a pain. That time dagger of yours really didn't like me reverse engineering it. It had vines of time lashing out at me before the whole thing incinerated into pieces. It was super cool. Almost killed me for the 6th time, but definitely cool. What's your play? Why'd you come back?